Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a tattoo studio in Minecraft for all of your city building needs. Fun fact, I am hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. Let me know down in the comment section if, where and when you found me. This is the amount of space required to make the build, a 14 block wide by 16 block long area as represented by the handy grid on the screen. To find the starting position, begin at the front left hand corner of the grid and count backwards to find the fourth block. That is where we will start. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing 6 bricks on top of each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a brick slab on top and extend to the right by 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Extend the slab all the way down to the ground using bricks. However, we also want to continue extending backwards by 12 using these slabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can then extend that 12th block all the way down to the ground using bricks. We are then able to extend our brick slabs all the way across and join forward to the front of our build like this. We can then extend this corner down to the ground using bricks just like so. And then we can actually fill the left, back and right sides of this build in using bricks. There is one small opportunity to add a window along the side of the build. It would be somewhere along here, or maybe even on the back of the build you could squeeze one in. But this build is modelled on a studio that you would find on a high street. So there would be other builds in amongst this. It would be part of like a shopping row, and there wouldn't really be any point in adding any windows. But if you do find that for yourself you would like to add some additional detail around the build, you can do just that. So once we have filled in each one of those 3 walls, we can start adding some detail to the front. Begin by placing 1, 2 bricks extending to the right from that corner. Place a polished black stone wall in front. Next, place 2 glass pane to the right of the wall. 1, 2. Then place another polished black stone wall. Then a glass pane. Leave a gap of 1 and then place a wall. And then 2 glass pane. 1, 2. And then place a wall. And then behind this, place a bricks and extend to the right. So we can extend our brick blocks all the way up to the top of the frame, just like this. We then want to extend our walls up by an additional 2 rows, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and we can place glass pane in between them. So for this central pair, we just want to extend the pane up so that we are able to walk through this area. And this is meant to be a door, so we can just add a door handle like this. In addition to this, we can remove the blocks underneath the windows and we can replace them with black concrete, just like so. And we also want to place 2 rows of black concrete just stretching across the top of the windows like this as well. And then on the inside of the build, we kind of have the choice here. So like on the inside of the build, do we extend the black concrete inwards? So like this? Or do we make it bricks? I kind of like the black, so I'm going to leave it like that, but there is an argument for the bricks as well. We are then going to remove all of the grass inside of the build. So, for the floor, we have a checkered pattern composed of polished diorite and polished blackstone. So, we just have to place one of these blocks, every other block, just as I'm doing now, and then once we have finished, we can place the other block. I'm going to be honest, I'm not 100% certain what I just said made grammatical sense, but hopefully you'll get the gist of what we have to do. Anyway, so in this case, I've placed nothing but polished diorite, and then I'm just going to fill these gaps in with the polished blackstone. That is perfect. Which actually leads us to the entrance area. I'm going to continue digging to the end of the grid here, and then I'm going to remove the first 2 rows of the entire grid. And I'm going to grab the stone and cobblestone. The 2 blocks that lead us into the actual parlour I'm going to replace with cobblestone and then extend them out 1 row. I'm then just going to make the rest of the street, so in this case I'm just using stone, but smooth stone is the more likely candidate for my actual city. Then some oak leaves just either side of the entrance, just like so. There are white concretes underneath there, but that's okay, we can get rid of those later. And then next, we are going to add a potted plant in front of this window. So, decorated part, flower pot, fern. And I also want to add a sign, so this is a pale oak sign, space 1 down. We're just going to write open in big capitals. Dye it using red dye, and then make it glow using the glow ink sac. Glow and behold! And since we're making signs, throw down a loom, open it up, place a black banner in there with some white dye. We are going to write out the word tattoo in letters. So the first letter is T, this is the chief pattern, followed by the pale pattern. Next is A, this is pale dexter, pale sinister, chief, and then fess. Next would be T, and then T again, and then after that is O, so we will make the O by placing the pale dexter pattern, pale sinister, chief, and then base. And then we would need an O after that again, but we can actually just reuse these 3 letters to write out the word tattoo. But I also want to create a little dash by throwing a banner in there, apply the fast pattern, throw black dye in there, and then the bourgeois pattern. And the idea here is to place the dash here, and in between this, T, A, T, T, O, O. And there we go. That is the outside of the parlour. Which means that we can actually head inside of the build and start working on the interior. First of all, we will place a 2x2 square of white concrete here in this corner, with black concrete above, which we will extend forwards. We will then place bricks to the left of this, drop it down to the ground, and then we will extend the bricks up. So we actually only have to extend them up by 2 rows. This is the inside amount of space for the parlour. And then to the left of this, we will place a row of brick wall. And behind that, a row of white concrete. And we can just extend the white concrete all the way along the side of this wall, just like so. And then in the corner, we can place a row of bricks extending up from the ground to the top of the white concrete, and then brick wall just next to it, like so. Now that we've done that, it's probably a good idea for us to actually make the ceiling, now that I think about it. So the ceiling itself is comprised of mostly quartz bricks. So the quartz bricks go directly on top of the wall that we've just made. it literally just seals up the bricks at the very top of the build. The only thing higher than this are the brick slabs, and I think that you guys might be able to see where this is going. Once you've done that, we can then just seal up the top of this with brick slabs. Or you could leave it exposed as well. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing. Or you could use a different material for the roof, maybe some stone or something like that. It'd have to be a slab though, is the thing. Or some carpet, or something similar to that. But regardless, that's what we've gone for. And now we can just head back inside, and it is rather dark now. Don't worry guys, I just paid the electric bill. So now we are going to, starting over here in this corner, leave a gap of 1 and place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black concrete extending to the left, which we will drop a row down, and then we will write the word tattoo again. So T-A-T-T O-O here, just like so. So it's just another sign inside. And next we are going to focus on this wall. First of all, we are going to place a row of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 bricks extending right of that position. Followed by 4 dark oak planks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 3 bricks. We will place an additional row of dark oak planks in front of our planks. We will then place dark oak sides in front of that. We then want to place 2 rows of chiseled bookshelves on top of the back row of planks with a row of bookshelves on top. We are then going to place bricks surrounding this. So we just want to fill in this entire wall, just like so. We are then going to use dark oak trap doors. So this is a little bit tricky, admittedly. So it might be a little bit easier to build from the ceiling in certain cases. So we're going to make a bookcase / storage area by flipping down the appropriate trapdoors. There we go. Okay, so almost to the very top of the wall. And then we'll seal off the top of it. And then we'll add a shelf in here, just like so. Whilst we're at it, we'll place an anvil in this position with 2 oak leaves on top. So this entire shelving unit is just to store all of the colourful inks that the tattoo artist might use and mix together. So these bookshelves are going to be filled sort of randomly with different varieties of books. So we want some of these spaces to look empty, and I'm trying my absolute best to kind of have like a random pattern for this, but it's actually super difficult for me for some reason. I don't know why. I keep repeating like the same one. So something like this would look just fine. And then on these shelves, I'm just going to stack a couple of colourful candles like this. And once again, these are just inks that the tattoo artist would use and mix. And I think that this looks pretty good. You could even just fill up every single bookshelf and they then look like just the individual ink bottles. Next, we are going to place a seat here. This is an acacia stair with acacia signs either side of it. And we want another one, but this is a bit bigger. We will place 2 stairs here with a sign either side. And then we can just stick a single cut red sandstone slab here. We can then use some of our painting. So we're looking for the 1x2s. One here and one here. We also want one last one all the way over here underneath the A, I do believe. In addition to this, we want to place 2 end rods here. I almost forgot. And then with a skeleton skull kind of just off into the corner like this. Now, turning our attention to the opposite wall here, we will place a chest, tripwire hook, armor stand, and then 1, 2, 3 black concrete, polished off stair here, and then dark oak trapdoors on top of the black concrete. Remove 2 blocks down here, block of redstone, piston on top. That's perfect. Then, here, we want to place a lantern in this position and this position, like so. And we want to surround those lanterns with dark oak signs. Just like so. I have now grabbed every single 1x1 painting, and we are going to place them on this wall, spread evenly like so. So, I have every single one of them, but you might prefer some rather than others. For instance, this one, I don't know about, so why don't we try that one? I like that. And what about the kebab? That isn't bad either. I think that that's a nice selection, but do feel free to place your 6 favourite paintings on this wall. Next, we will turn our attention to this back wall. So, we want to place a black concrete here, with a lectern to the right of it, then a black concrete, apply a book and quill to the lectern, and place pale oak sides in front of these 3 blocks, heavy weighted pressure plate here. We then want to have a 1x1 painting here, and then I'm realising that this painting here in particular is in the wrong position. It should just be underneath the T. I'm so thankful that that's the right painting. That is random, right? Oh, lucky us. So, here we want to have a mirror. To make this, we throw down a loom, light blue banner in there with some white dye, and we apply one of the gradient patterns, followed by one of the bend patterns, throw black dye in, and apply the bourgeois pattern. So, grab that, and then we can mount this either stood here or on the wall. I kind of actually like it, well, that's unfortunate. I kind of like it stood here, like this. That's perfect to me. Then to the right, we will place a 2x2 square of bookshelves, lantern here, so I want it placed on, not dangling down, flower pot, fern, just like so. We will then place an anvil in this position, and behind the anvil, an open dark oak fence gate. And then we will place a dark oak stair, like this, and a dark oak slab, like this, and a dark oak pressure plate, like this. We will then place a dark oak trapdoor on top of the anvil, and dark oak signs either side of the dark oak stair, just like so. Then we will leave a gap of 1 and place a dark oak fence here, 1 row away from the anvil, with a black carpet on top. And then somewhere here, I think this is perfect, 2 end rods on top of each other, polished black stone wall, and then surround the wall with pale oak signs, just like this. And then, it's very cozy in this part of the parlour. We place 2 black concrete here, with a pale oak fence gate like this, item frames on top, and then a brewing stand in one of the item frames and an end rod in the other. We then have to make some banners, so throw down a loom, open it up, black banner in there, grey dye, apply the pale sinister pattern, put black dye in there, and apply the bourgeois, followed by the perfect inverted pattern. That's 1 banner. We then put the other one in there, and we apply the pale Dexter pattern, black dye in there, apply the perfect inverted, followed by the bourgeois pattern. And with this pair of banners, we can make what looks like a cabinet. And believe it or not, at this point in time, without adding any more clutter, we've done. With that final detail added, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed our tattoo parlour. But this video is not over. We must now add our tattoo studio into our city. This style of building really only belongs in the downtown or new suburb area, and I'm going to place it in the latter. I will add it to this weird mishmash of shops on the high street, but this is what I was talking about earlier in the video. The tattoo studio belongs scrunched up in between a bunch of other builds. Maybe not this particular variety, but something similar to this. You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labeled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini-City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.